So yeah, this is tips 3, chapter 2, part 2 of 2. So yeah, I'm just buying my monster badge. See, it's quite expensive. And I did go and buy some memes because I wanted to get a fish bigger than 60 centimetres for, is it Fabio? Yeah, Fabio. So I did that, and then I forgot to record actually fishing the fish out, so you're just going to have to use your imagination. I went to the pool up in Parn where Fabio is, and I got one fairly quickly. Got a big nonky, 76 centimetres. So now I've got the gold paint from the egg, I can get Parn and Julia. So sort of this video is kind of like finishing off the recruitment really. There's a few that we can't get at the moment. There's a little Fairbit guy in the square that wants me to beat him in a fish race. That's why we're feeding our fish at the moment. There's a girl in the town hall who's suffering because of the feeder holes that haven't turned up yet. But anyway, you've got to complete, I think, 10 of those. You don't have to do them in a row, but you need to have closed 10. I think it's 10. Anyway, we'll get there later. So we haven't got the feeder yet, so we'll get that in the next chapter, chapter 3. There's a little bit of a puzzle here for Priest Bruno. Yeah, it's not that hard once you know how to do it. So you just pick the first candle, and that knocks off 3, and then you pick sort of like the second candle down on the opposite side. That knocks out another 3. Just wondering if I could photograph that rug. Anyway, I photographed the bits in the church, but there's another church you'll build later that you need to. So yeah, just having a chat with Donny to start his quest off. He wants a dark ring, not a ring, a coin, and an indestructible coin. You can buy them, but they're really, really expensive. But just before I go to chapter 3, I am going to have a quick go around the 2 dungeons and see if I can pick one up there for free. And I started the quest with Claire. She wants to see a picture of the Lafresia stem, which I'll get in a minute. But this is Sheriff Blinkhorn. I think I remember doing this before, like when I first started playing the game, and I thought this is impossible. But it's not. The only suggestion I can give really is try not to veer too much. Try and keep in a straight line as much as possible. Also, get rid of Fabio before you do this, because he kind of gets in the way and you want a little chat while you're trying to get away, sort of thing. So fish, do the fish thing with Fabio, get a fish bigger than 60 centimetres, and then he buggers off. I've also got Rufio here as well. He just wants to see a picture of the moon, which is quite easy to get, but it needs to be in your ideas board to show him. And he sells elements and crystals, so that's good. And Fabio sells you bait, which is quite handy for later when we do the medals. So this time round, this took me 2 goes. I got the quest, tried it. I think it was like 0.2 of a second out or something. It's very tight. So yeah, the people that I couldn't get, so yeah, it's a girl with the speeder that we need to do, the guy with the fish racing, and Pal, who's in, I think he's in chapter 4, Pal, and we can't get him until the end of chapter 4. we've pretty much got everybody by the end of this, so we won't need to be messing about with it in the next chapter. And Blinkhorn, Priest Bruno, is it Priest Bruno? And Parn are all requirements for Balance Valet. Oh, there's another guy. You've got to give him 2 grand, so we'll have to wait. There's a guy in Maximilian's house, the butler, and he wants £2,000 to buy a book. What the hell's his name? Not Gerald, not Gordon. We'll find out later. But he's a bit of a pain. And I haven't got £2,000 on me at the moment. But once I've sort of whipped round the dungeons, I'll soon have enough. So yeah, Mermaid, you can trade in your medals for stuff with Mermaid. I sort of went round the first dungeon getting the easier medals, like the ride pod and Max's right hand weapon ones. I'll do the fish ones when I've got a bit more money later to get some bait. You kind of need like 10 baits per level at least. Some of them are like need about 15, 20, so kind of depends really. So we're fixing down. I've got 100% by this time.
This place is back to its old self somehow. You did it.
And you get a nice weapon of Jorak, which is a laser gun. So I'm going to equip that straight away. I might synthesise my bell trigger and try and chuck that on there so we haven't wasted much. Got to be a bit careful with doing that, synthesising the weapon and putting it onto another weapon, so I'd suggest saving beforehand, because it could, I think it can destroy the weapon you've got. So I've taken a few photos, so all of the shop signs, there's a quartz up there that you can miss. A quick shufty round. I think I'm just showing you that it's 100%. And the thing that you won't know at this stage is because we haven't got all the geostones yet, but the fence around the Fabio's house and the gate there is also necessary. So I'm just getting the sun drop for the Lafresia stem.
I've been getting a lot of sun drops lately. Got so many they're coming out my ears. Take some from me,
I'll do all
would ya?
the monster badges later.
Here.
And then so I'm just going to plant it. So I'm going to plant a seed, put the sun drop on it, take a photo of it, then go back to Claire, get her, and then do the boss fight. Yeah, so also I'll do the fish ones. And like I say, the money fact is part of that, but you do pick up bait. So once I've got like 10 or 12 bits of bait, I'll come back and do a bit of fishing. Some levels are harder than the others. I think some of the Balance Valley ones I found a bit... I needed like 20 things of bait before I got a decent sized fish. So the Lafresia stem flower thing is growing, so that's good. And all I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a photo of it,
Is this
leave the
a
dungeon and go
flower?
and get Claire.
It's huge.
Now this is the boss fight, so you've got to take a photograph of the butterfly. She has to sort of split up into all the different butterflies and then get it back. You can't just take a photograph of it straight away. And it can be a bit tricky because if
What do you
you
think these are?
do this perfectly,
It's fine.
you'll end the battle straight away. So what you need to do really is do it imperfectly first, get her to split up and get back together, take your photo, and then you can do it perfectly, which is
These petals are huge.
sort of shooting the
Actually, they're
smaller
kinda
butterflies
gross.
in order, which is like red, orange, yellow, sort of that way,
Look!
like a rainbow.
That's the rainbow butterfly.
It's coming!
Out of the blue? What'd we ever do?
So Max is probably the best for the stamens in the middle of the flower. So yeah, you've got these yellow things you need to hit. I don't use Monica because she's a bit too flourishy with a sword, so you can pretty much get Max to do it with one hit. If you wanted to end the battle now, you just I go to Monica because hits seem to hit no matter what I do, so with the gun it's a bit harder. So just do it imperfectly. We would normally go with red, but I think I've hit the orange one there, but which is okay. If you do it imperfectly, which I have done. Yeah, keep your health up. You can't seem to avoid those green things. So now the butterfly goes back together. Quick, get your camera out. There we are. Lovely. So now we can finish the game. Battle even. So yeah, just hit the stamens, get the butterflies to come out, and kill them off in order. You can walk towards them, but as soon as you... Oh yeah, I can screw that up. But as soon as you go near it, it starts firing that green stuff. And you end up having to Yeah, how's it going? Yeah, you've got to sort of retarget it because of those green things knock your targeting off, which is a pain. As soon as you target them, they fly off. So you have to target them twice. So I've kind of left in the bit where you have a chat with the rainbow butterfly, and it's a bit later with the dwarves. I think I've left that in. So the next one really will be
So you're the ones that stopped me.
tips 4, and that'll be the start of chapter 3. So each time you go to a new dungeon, they are a lot longer. So I might have to split that whole thing into 3 perhaps, but I'll see when I get there. I mean, I've recruited excuse me, I've recruited
Well, you see, I
most of the people now anyway, so I won't have to do that.
Originally, I too was a tiny
But the
butterfly.
next one's a little bit sad.
Once, when I still wasn't used to flying through the
Next
forest,
part of the story.
I got caught in a huge spider web. I couldn't get out of the web no matter how
The
much
building
I
of the
struggled.
village is a bit boring because
Just at that moment,
you can't
some
really
furry
do a lot
fox
to
came
make
by
it
and
look
released me
nice.
from the
So
web. I was free.
it's on 4
I
different
flapped my
platforms,
wings
and you've got to
with
keep the
all my
platforms
might
at the
and
same
returned to the sky. They were
level.
waving as I flew off.
So
They had
you just
saved my
basically
life, you see. My
put
7
the same
saviors.
stuff on each level.
The
I
years
think the
passed.
church is the
I
same
grew
way as a
mature
house.
rainbow
So
butterfly.
anyway, yeah, we'll get
As
to
a
that
monster
anyway
too.
when
I found myself
it
with
turns
plenty
up.
of magic powers. I used my powers of transformation to assume human form
I think
and
that's
approach
about
them.
it.
I had wanted to give them
Before
something
chapter
as a
3,
sign
I
of
might
my
zoom
gratitude.
around and see if I can
But
get
while
those
I was
coins for
living among
Donny.
them, I
The
realized that
dark
the time I
coin
spent with
and the
them was more
indestructible
precious than
coin.
anything.
You can sometimes
Before
pick
I
those
knew
up
it,
in
I
the
found myself wanting to spend the
first
rest of my life
2
as a human.
dungeons.
Then why'd you disappear?
But like I say, I think you can, it's like almost a definite, you can get the indestructible
that.
coin in the
There was
first 2
sort of,
levels of Balance Valley.
an
So
accident.
if I'm not having any luck
Dark force from somewhere began
in the
to
first 2
affect me.
dungeons, I'll just go
I
there.
was a monster after all. And so this force awakened the powers of my original self buried deep within. I came to realize that I could never suppress the dark stirrings in my heart. There was nothing I could do but quietly leave their company. I've been hiding out in these woods, doing all I can to gain control of myself again. But the dark force got the best of me, and I was just a mindless monster when I attacked you.
So that's what happened, huh?
I can't go back to my old friends anymore. Would you please give them this letter?
Okay, I'll be sure to give it to them.
Perhaps the dark force that controlled me is what you'll be fighting from here on. It's an incredibly fearsome power. You must not lose against it. Please, win back our world. Well, I should be on my way. Goodbye.
Let's try to get to Jurak.
Okay.
I've remembered.
We have the Carpenterian, right? Let's just revive Crest's origin point as well.
Yes, exactly. Crest's origin point is the holy ground of Balance Valley.
Hello, everyone. How are you? This is Holly. I'm sorry to have left you so suddenly. But I have reasons that prevent me from staying with all of you. You might already have an idea of what those reasons are. But for me, the time we spent together was truly wonderful.
Holly!
Farewell, everyone. Stay happy and healthy. You will always be my one and only family.
Holly, how could you? How foolish of you. Human or butterfly, it doesn't matter. Holly's just Holly to us.
You knew?
Of course I knew. I could tell she wasn't human just by her scent. But if Holly chose to approach us as a human, that was perfectly fine too. We don't care so much for outer appearances anyway. By the way, Monica,
What?
we want to go with you two on your journey. What do you think?
Really? You want to? Of course! With your help, we'll be able to put the world back to normal in no time.
And so, our adventures in the forest came to an end. Holly, the mysterious woman who got lost in the forest, wasn't you, Mother. But for some reason, I wasn't surprised. I always felt you'd be at the end of this journey. Just about then, Borneo and the others finished clearing the rock from the tracks so the train could move on again.